Hello everybody, my name's Rory and welcome back to Firebeard Outdoors. I'm currently on my way into the woods for a overnighter. I'm going by myself and this will be the first one I've recorded for the channel. I've been here before by myself, so I have done this before, it's not my first time. So I'm just going to show you what it's like, what I get up to, and yeah, I hope you enjoy. So the weather today isn't great, a bit rainy, it's been raining all day, but it's not too bad now and I should be able to get a nice comfy camp set up. I'll be able to get a fire going and I'll show you how to do that in the wet conditions. So I've just walked about half an hour. I'm at my campsite now, which is here. So I'm just getting set up. But before I do that, there's a customary tradition to toast to the camp. We always do this to ward off bad fortune and bad injuries, and to make sure that nothing goes wrong. And it's also nice to have a little rest after a long walk in. So, cheers. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is get my shelter put up. It's best to do that when it's wet like this, to first of all get your kit under so it stays dry, and also when I'm collecting firewood I can stick that under there to keep that dry too. Okay, so there's my setup. It's nice, simple, quick and easy. As you can see, it's got quite a lot of space and it's nice and tight so that the rain should drop down nicely off the back. And then if it does get more heavier rain, if it's coming in a different way, I will lower the front to give me some more shelter. Okay, so now I've got all my stuff under there, out the rain and dry, I can now start thinking about going to find some firewood to get a fire going. So what I have here is my axe and saw. It's in this leather pouch that was made by Journeyman Handcraft. I'll stick a link to him in the bio. He makes some really excellent handcrafted leather items. I've got a few pouches from him, a tinder pouch, as well as this. Great bit of kit. Okay, so I'm all set up, now it's time to go find some firewood. Okay, so finding firewood in this sort of wet conditions, you need to be looking for the right stuff. So I'm in a fairly piney area, so what I'm looking for is called dead standing wood. So it's smaller trees that haven't succeeded in the battle of survival. They've died, but they're still standing. They should be relatively thin diameter trunks, and I'm going to try and find a couple of those to start with to get my fire going. Okay, so here you can see a dead standing trunk. Very easy to spot, they stick out very well among the healthier trees. So there's a few dotted around the place. So I'm going to gather a few of those to start with. So as you can see, this is completely dead. Small, thin diameter trunk. It's been stood up in the bad weather, so it's not absorbed as much moisture as if it had been lying on the ground. And as you can see from the stump, it's nice, fresh, dry wood, perfect for burning. That's critical for getting a fire going in wet conditions like this.
That was easy.
Okay, so I've transported all the wood over to my sort of preparation area, just close to the camp over there. It's a nice little spot where I can prep all the wood and then just take it round when it's ready to burn. Okay, so sawing through wood can be quite a labour-intensive, energy-draining task. So what I'm going to do is just show, for thicker bits like this, a little technique I learned from a friend on how to make the work easier for you. So start by... So I've got the majority of the way through, so there's just a little bit left. Then face the thinner end away from you and rest it against your shins with your legs wide apart. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the axe, hit the back of it, and I'm going to carry on through my legs like that. Makes the job much easier than sawing the whole way through. Okay, so the last little thing I need to do is gather some kindling for the fire. The best place to look for this is the lower little branches of these trees, of these pines. This is perfect, it's low hang, it's all dead, and it's got shelter from the rain from the canopy above. So it's all relatively dry and perfect for getting a fire going. So the key to getting a fire started is all in preparation. So what I've got is I've prepared my kindling there. I've then got some smaller diameter branches and then my bigger diameter branches over there. So it's all set up. I just need to do a little bit more, then I can get the tinder and I'll show you how to start it with a fire still. So for starting, I'm going to break this down like so. Okay, so because the ground is all muddy and wet, the first thing I'm going to be doing is laying down a layer of sticks that I've cut, dry sticks, to keep the fire off the ground and stopping the wet soil from extinguishing it as we start. All our hard work will be wasted. Then I'm going to stack the pieces like so. Don't have to be any particular size, just so you're stacking them. This is called a Jenga fire, so you make it a tower, laying bits in alternate directions like so. Get it pretty close. Now the key is to keep everything as dry as possible, even though it is still raining. So what I've got here is my tinder pouch. As I said before, this is made by Journeyman Handcraft. Great bit of leather kit. And in here I have a lot of dry birch bark that I collected earlier. And this will be the key to getting our fire going. This birch bark is an incredibly great tinder. It's filled with, the bark's filled with natural oils which are flammable and makes them great to burn even when it is wet. So I've got a piece of birch bark here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to scrape up some dust in, make it into a fine dust, using the knife at a 90-degree angle to scrape it up is the best way. Get a nice little bundle of it, cover it with your body to ensure it stays dry. Now I should be able to get a spark into it. I don't have a lot here, but we'll see how it goes. Now, in wet conditions it is particularly challenging, but perseverance is essential. Don't give up, you will succeed. That's a little pep talk for myself. So now the birch bark is catching hold. It's time to whack on the smaller stuff. Stick it on all at once with enough room underneath for airflow. And this should catch nicely. There's always a sense of relief when your shelter's put up and your fire's started. It means you can just relax, start to think about doing other stuff. Okay, so now I've got my fire going, I'm going to start thinking about cooking. I'm having a bit of surf and turf this evening. I'm going to start with mussels, and then I've got a rump steak as well. So I'm going to start with the mussels. I've just got them in my billy can here, and this can just sit straight in the fire, and that won't take long for them to start boiling. So the mussels are nice and done, steaming away. So that's course number 1. Lovely. Getting a bit darker now. I've stuck up these fairy lights. Always bring a little string of them. It helps you identify where your camp is when it gets dark, so you don't get lost when you go find firewood or stuff. And plus it also gives you a little sense of security. Okay, so here's my campsite fully set up now. Fire. Got my tarp with my fairy lights. I've also stuck my lantern here. So all is good. It's starting to get dark now, and I've realised I don't have a torch. Usually I bring a head torch, but unfortunately tonight I'm just going by this lighting. So it's quite a rainy evening. I am currently sat under my shelter, looking at the fire. But yeah, I'm all comfortable, all dry, and really enjoying myself. People often ask me like why I go camping in rainy and snowy weather and put myself through these sort of things. To me, I get the same enjoyment no matter the weather. I always say that weather's only a problem if you don't prepare for it, and that is very true. Like if you're unprepared, it's going to be an unpleasant experience for you. But if you know what you're doing and you've got the right kit, then it's just the same as being in the warm, sunny weather. People always ask me as well why I like to come camping in the woods alone. Does it not scare you at night? Is it, to me, I'm not worried. The first time I did it alone, yes, I was a bit anxious, I was a bit cautious. Every little noise spooks you. But I've grown accustomed to it now, and I enjoy the sounds of the woods at night. I listen. You can hear often like owls or nocturnal animal badgers scurrying around just in the distance. They don't come near you. Your fire and your noise and your smell keeps them at bay. And in the UK, there's nothing really to be that worried about animal-wise. But I get the same. I get a lot of satisfaction out of it. One thing I find really rewarding about doing this is the sort of time to myself to sort of relax. I always find this is a great escape from the hectic realities of normal life. I like to come out here just to have thoughts to myself, just be self-reliant, and it also tests sort of mental and physical resilience to go through these sort of experiences. So now it's time to start prepping my rump steak. Look at that, I can't wait to get my teeth into this. So I've got this little pod from a Kinder Egg. They make good little containers for things like, well, I've got salt and pepper in there. Light seasoning, nothing major. The pan has been nice and hot on the fire for a bit,
So let's get this in there. Oh, that's a lovely sound, isn't it? Now I'm going to give that a few minutes, turn it. I'm going to enjoy it. Now this is some very delightful steak. Okay, so that's me done. I'm all fed. Had some very good food. Now I'm just going to chill, have a couple of beers, relax, and then go to bed.
So, good morning everyone. It's the morning now, so I've just woken up, had a really good sleep. I've just started the fire up again. Wasn't hard to do. It had sort of gone out, but the ground was still hot, so I just stuck a load of this dry small stuff on, gave it a bit of blowing on the embers, reinvigorating the fire. So that started up again, and now I'm just preparing breakfast. Breakfast is porridge at the moment, so I've just got my billy can down there boiling some water at the moment. I don't have a spoon, so I need to make one myself. So for this I've just got a bit of green hazel, which I'm just going to whistle down. Okay, so here is the spoon I've crafted. It's not really anything special, just a bit of live hazel that I've flattened out to make. It's more of a paddle than an actual spoon, but this is more just to do the job. I'm not looking for anything fancy, just enough for me to be able to eat my porridge with. Okay, so I've had my breakfast, now it's time to start packing up. So I'm all packed up. Last thing I need to do is extinguish this fire. Obviously it's been burning a long time. Been burning for probably about 12 hours. so the ground is going to be very hot. Fortunately, it is quite wet still, so there's a lot of stuff I can use to put this fire out with. I've got some water as well, which I'll use to extinguish. But first I'm going to remove all these larger bits, and then I'm going to get on to extinguishing it. So that's me done. I'm fully cleaned up. I've packed everything. I've swept the place for litter. There's nothing here. I've fully extinguished the fire, and I'm ready to walk home. So thanks very much for watching. This is my first full solo overnighter for the channel. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something, and yeah, thanks very much, and I'll see you in the next video. Farewell.